Our own Pecos Senior Center outreach program funding ended this last May. Do you anticipate funding going forward to bring the enrichment opportunities coming back to our Pecos Senior program?
Councilman, you're up first.
Yes, I do. Here's what's happening at the City of Phoenix because of the issues I've been bringing up, because of the fiscal accountability, and the fact is the public is now starting to see where those dollars are really going. You're going to start seeing more and more of a focus from the other council members. You're already starting to see that at the city to start funding these programs, because if you look at it, either the government funds themselves and pays themselves, or it's really been a debate of whether or not they should be funding programs for seniors, after-school programs. It's unconscionable to be cutting seniors who need the help and after-school programs, especially for those kids that can't afford it, when you're paying yourself even more money. It just doesn't make sense. When you look at that $137 million that my opponent says that it was done through contract, well, guess who voted on that? The council makes that as a priority or not. What I would like to know is, are you going to do pay raises first, or are you be willing to restore full funding for the public? I'm all for full funding to the public and getting rid of the food tax. Then you can start looking at taking care of ourselves. But that hasn't happened in the past. It's critical for us to be able to fund these programs, and it's critical for these individuals who are poor, these individuals that can barely afford it, they're on fixed incomes, to be able to get some of the programs that we have. And so that's where the dedication is on my end. I think that the rest of the council, because of what's been happening and the issues I've been bringing up, they're going to be doing that. Because if they don't, it's going to be public, and it's been public now in the media. So thank you.
Yes, I said before, Linda, that I don't think that decreasing funding for the senior centers is one of my priorities. Absolutely not. The senior centers and the children and after-school programs should absolutely be kept in place or increased. I do think, however, that there are, I really believe that there is fat in that budget. I've looked at it. I've looked at it a couple of times, and I think there are ways to make some of this stuff happen. But what I kind of find funny is, do you remember you've been on the city council for all these years? So you voted for some of this stuff. So the $137 million you're talking about, you voted on it. You voted yes every year except the last time. So you were part of the process that did the voting. It is a contract. If you don't like the contract, you have another chance in December to change it. You start negotiations in December on these contracts, and then you can absolutely change some of the things that you all are talking about. And I also think there are some things in that $137 million. Actually, it's 29.9% million this year, and there are some things that you can change going forward. But you cannot renege on your contract. And I looked for your budget, and your budget was nowhere in writing. It was on the back of a napkin somewhere, and it didn't say exactly how you were going to take the money away from the city employees, the firefighters, and the police, and give it to all kinds of other people.
Well, all kinds of other people are right here. These are the beneficiaries. It's either them or you. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. That is the debate here. This is why you're starting to see, we're starting to get into it now, why the government unions are pouring hundreds of thousands of dollars in this race. You know why they're doing that? Because of the fiscal reforms I'm pushing at City Hall. That's what this is all about. It's about whether or not these dollars are going to go to those individuals that run the unions, those union bosses, or it's going to go to the public. I believe it needs to go to the public. Here's some of the fat that I outlined on this so-called back piece of paper, but I've got the transcript so you can see it exactly the way it is. There's $6 million, a minimum of $6 million. The City of Phoenix spends millions of dollars on PR, association dues, and lobbying. $6 million could be cut out of that easily and funded senior and children's programs. Thank you.